It's good, YouTube. Cardfight King here. Aqua Life, baby, you already know. But today, we're in the forest. We're in the jungle. We got Black Steve here with his Great Nature deck profile for you. The new stuff with the Mana Garment sleeve. How have you done in tournaments with the deck so far?
I've topped every week. I've used the deck. It's pretty nice. Yeah, the amount of pressure you get from just from on hit drawing is just amazing. There's like so many plays you can do, and plus like the main Vanguard, which is like Tester Fox, allows you to recycle cards and units and everything. It's like really hard to like deck out the deck, and I just have it personalized to the point where it can outspeed certain decks at certain plays.
Yep.
So
let's get into it because there are some things that you don't like within the deck too.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
First up, the starter is Pencil Koala. Its ability is it's a GB1 starter, one of the new wave of them. When it boosts and hits a Vanguard, and you just give +4 to another rear guard, and at the end of the turn, you retire first and then draw a card.
Oh, so you retire first?
No, you draw.
You draw, then retire.
You draw a card, then retire.
Yeah. Okay. That's part of their new. They tried to be slick with the joint. Nah, caught them.
Get on to the grade 3s. The main grade 3 I run is Tester Fox, the Legion. His ability is when you're in Legion and you retire one of the Legion mates, like either the grade 3 or the grade 2, you get to unflip a damage when it hits the drop zone, draw a card, send 2 cards from your drop zone to the bottom of the deck, which is great because that means you get to recycle your grade 2, your Legion mate, which is basically like a Hamsuke clone, so all the Great Nature players out there who remember that card. It was a great card back in the day.
Yep. It's like an infinite loop, so to speak, with retiring.
Yeah, as long as you have either the grade 3 or the grade 2 to retire, you can just keep sending back cards. And like you want to send back like triggers in the grade 2s just so you can keep going and going and going. It's like a never-ending loop. Now,
it's annoying.
On to the grade 3s. For backup grade 3, I run Big Belly. I like this card, but at the same time, sometimes I hate him because you have to have field presence for him. Like, because his ability is at GB2, when it attacks a Vanguard, you get to give +4 to another unit. At the end of the turn, you get to draw a card and retire that unit. But its regular stride ability is when you counterblast 1, you choose 2 units to give +4 to. And also, when they get the ability, so when attacked by a unit in the same column as it hits a Vanguard and it's 20 up, 20k or higher, you get to draw a card. This ability causes so much pressure and allows you to draw so many cards, but at the same time, you have to have cards in the field prior to striding.
Right.
And in this meta, you have Narukami, Gear Chronicle, Kagero, that just gets rid of your field so quick, and it's like you barely have a field to even.
That's probably why the first on stride, that's probably why you're waiting for the Vitamin Dragon for the on hit and draw or something. But it's this guy, if you don't have anything on your board or you can't put anything on your board before you stride into him, it's kind of lackluster. It's pretty lackluster. Yeah. But it's a great card late game, though, when you have a board.
Yeah, great card. It sets up your stride sometimes and everything. I actually like it sometimes. Certain matchups. If I'm going up against a Gear Chronicle. But if I'm going against a Gear Chronicle or Kagero or Narukami, I'd rather go into Tester Fox. She's just more reliable in that type of situation.
Yep.
And also, last grade 3 I run, I'm just teching a copy, is...
Horton, here's a who!
Oh, yeah. Tuskmaster. I like this card because it's a Generation Break 1. It works on the Vanguard Circle and Rearguard Circle. That's a really big difference. But when it attacks a Vanguard, you get to counterblast 1, restand one of your rear guards, and it gets +4. I love this card because during your Mana Garment plays, your stride, it just gives extra attack.
It's like a Crayon Tiger without drawing.
That's basically what you want to do.
Right. Really good card.
Really good card, yeah. On to the grade. First grade 2 I run is for the Legion Mate. You have to run this card. It's like the most reliable rear guard in the deck, especially with Tester Fox. You really need it in that certain matchup. You need to send cards back and just want to thin out your deck as well. Like just keep putting triggers back. Put these back.
It doesn't require you to keep re-legioning either, so that's pretty good too.
That's the best part about it and everything. Crayon Tiger,
favorite card in the
so
deck.
good. It's basically Tuskmaster, but it gives you it's one of the boosting. What's one of the grades?
Generation break boost things, yeah.
Where you have to get boosted. But it does the same thing as Tuskmaster, but that card, when it retires, you get to draw a card. So that's really good, and that's extra attacks, pressure, you get to draw.
And
it's so good.
Actually, the best thing about it is this guy is like, he literally is the Magnum of all the deck, because like you can have a field of both of these out, you know, in 2 separate columns, and you can swing one at a rear guard, swing one at the Vanguard, restand this with plus 4K, swing this at the Vanguard, then use this go to restand this and get another attack in. These two will retire, but then you get to draw 2 cards off of their effects.
Yep.
It's kind of nasty.
And then my last card, grade 2 I run, is Sleepy Sapir. This is basically Binoculars Tiger, but the only difference is it only works in a rear guard circle, but it gets resist. That helps out a lot in certain matchups like Narukami and Kagura, and also Gears, they can't target it. It's really good. I like it. I sometimes miss Binoculars Tiger because it works in the Vanguard circle.
Early game.
Yeah.
Now with Diablo coming out literally tonight, is this going to change to Binoculars Tiger, pending on how the meta, shapes up?
Yeah, pending. The only, to be honest with you, the only version of that deck that really probably hurt this would be Revengers, because of the Abyss, and they have the Blaster Darks. They can just retire them and everything, but. That's the only version that really scares me. If it becomes too prevalent, too much of a problem, this will become Binoculars Tiger. You can just run this out Binoculars Tiger. This just
gives you good defense against Gear Chronicles and Pinpoint.
On to grade 1s. First, Perfect Guards.
Gotta have 4.
I don't know why. If you're not running 4, it's I don't know what's going on right now. But I run the new Perfect Guards, the unflipping ones. The locals have calmed down with the cross, so that's not much of a problem.
We only have one person that plays Dimension Police with.
Yeah, really? And also, I mean, there's still times if you're on Big Belly where you go through Counterblast so quick. This is the most Counterblast heavy Great Nature deck if I've ever run, honestly. And having them in the drop zone and you able to unflip the extra damage is free. So why not? It's actually really good. Also, 4 Stride Enablers. Sometimes if you're on Tuskmaster, that's your only grade 3 in hand. This comes in handy. So you can just search out Big Belly. So, really good. Best grade 1 in the deck is...
my favorite card in Great Nature, next to Crayon Tiger.
This card is probably the heart and soul of the deck, honestly. Because you get to retire. When a card gets retired, you get to draw a card.
It just does. He's the engine of your draw combos. It's too nasty.
So enablers. The more you see this card, the better.
Right.
It means that you're doing something right.
And you hate riding him.
Yes, you know. It's painful to ride him, honestly. Very painful. The last card is a tech choice. It's a Stamp Sea Otter.
Well, that's interesting. Now, why do you run him?
I run him because in certain decks, like Narukami and Aquaforce being Lambros, they have cards where they force you to choose a card to retire or anything. But with this, your opponent can't retire it. They your Chronicle can send it back, but that's fine. But in decks where they retire and everything, they can't retire this. So this guarantees to stay on the field in certain matchups. And plus, what I was saying, Lambros on 4th battle where they have to choose a card to retire. Like you can choose this. They choose one of these. This is one of the only 3 rear guards on your field. You can just choose this.
And be like,
You
okay,
can't retire
right?
because you chose a card.
Because you have to choose as many as you can.
Yeah.
Up to 3. Now, with Diablo coming out, is that card going to change or not? Because I notice you have resist and you have that.
Quite possibly, but I don't see him very often as it is. So he might come out altogether.
You can make a change in game accordingly, probably.
Yeah.
All right, grade 0.
Okay, for trigger lineup, run 8 crit.
And Soaring Eagle. Snakes.
And this deck with so many with 5 cards in here that restand your rear guards, I feel as if it's better to have crits just because it's a lot more deadly and puts more pressure on. Stands are nice, but it's like if you mix stands with crits, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's like a mixed bag.
And you gotta, guess on your attack patterns in early games. This is why I don't play stands in Aquaforce right now. It's like stands early game. If you don't have a field, can't build a field.
Exactly. Correct.
Just don't work. Now, why don't you run the one that where counter blast and you search another one? The dude with the long tongue, Chameleon.
It's mostly because sometimes if I need to call out a trigger to attack or boost or anything, I wanted to have that 4 or 5K.
Right. All the
5K. That plus that 3K is just it's just
doesn't do it.
Doesn't do it for me.
True.
And then but I run 4 draws. Reason being is I add speed to the deck, and plus this draw trigger is like the Marvel clone, Castanet Donkey. This when you push it into the soul gift +3. If you have many of them in your hand, if you're on Vanguard, it pushes your rear guards up to numbers where you can force out more cards in hand and everything with your main stride giving your front row guard manipulation. It's so good.
Right. Like if you have a 16K column, you're only able to get it 4K from Mana and Armor. Throw it in Soul, that's a 23K column right there. That's 15K block on 11K. Same with a 13K Vanguard. And they need to only have grade 0, so it's pretty good.
Also, in certain matchups where my starter is getting retired or sent back, sometimes when I'm in Legion with Tester Fox, I just push him into the Soul, give it +3, just so it swings for 23. So a 2 10K shields that was thrown down for a no pass becomes a 2 to pass.
Yep. It's a good boost. It's a good booster overall, and since we play against brawlers and things like that, sometimes we can leave it in the back and boost for 24, but when we need to push it into Soul, it's like, okay, now I can make this column good. Let's push into Soul.
You have to have
4 heal triggers.
Left side.
Heal triggers are weird, but okay. All right, go.
Okay, for Stride deck, first is 1 Blizza.
Best Cray Elemental.
Yeah, most useful.
Most useful Cray Elemental, I should say.
Because if you're running a GB2 card, grade 3, you should run Blizzard just teching 1, just because if you can't see a grade 1 or the Stride Enabler or another grade 3 opening hand, and if you only see 1, it's best to go into this just so you can get the GB2, because it's better to have a fighting chance than none at all. Mm-hmm. That's what I always like to say.
Right, and if you don't have any rear guards to give your effects to or anything, or if it's like, okay, well I don't want to call out all my triggers from my hand, so I'll go into Blizzard, I'll get to GB2, swing for 31 or whatever it is, go from there. Just like in Aquaforce, especially if you're not guaranteed to stride next turn, get to GB2.
Right. Then we have I call him the Phoenix.
I call him the chicken rooster bird thing.
Yeah. His
Phoenix
name
Club.
is the Immortality Professor Phoenixlax. Phoenixlax, yeah. His ability is when he attacks the Vanguard, you choose up to 2 units to give +4. At the end of the turn, they retire. you retire those units. Yeah, I like this card because if you're on Tester Fox and you have like you have him or the grade 2 and on the rear guard circle, you're in Legion, you give +4 to both of them. And they trigger at the end of the phase because you're a Legion.
Oh, right. And both of their effects go off. So what? You're like drawing 2, unflipping 2, adding. Yeah.
Yep. So it's a really key card in the deck.
Now, we know the Fires Collection came out tonight. And, we're going to go pick up our stuff tomorrow. I'll probably do some opening videos of that. Now, what's going to change about this lineup so far? Because I know the main stride is not changing.
Yeah, the main stride definitely is not changing. I like the new stride from the Fires Collection, the double rare. He's like Amundsen's Dragon. That's what his name is. I was thinking about maybe cutting a Blizzard. At the same time, maybe not. Maybe.
I mean, maybe those. It's just something to play around with because Blizzard's still very useful. And at the same time, that dragon is on hit, so there are, different things you got to play around with.
Different things.
Yep. And where's the big boy? Yeah, you collected all 7 Dragon Balls. Make your wish.
Yep, Manning Armor. This card is the finisher. This is basically Great Nature's Lambros to me, because when you have a full field and you call out a Crayon Tiger or a Tuskmaster, it just makes everything just...
Now his effect is like you just counterblast 1, flip a copy of him over, and you give 2 units 4K, but he does not retire.
No, he does not retire, and also Big Belly's stride break ability doesn't retire either. That's what makes it pretty good. But the fact of the matter is, you turn your rear guards into Glory Maelstrom if they hit for 20 or up.
They turn into Glory Maelstroms. Everybody's a Glory Maelstrom.
That's where the draw triggers come into play, where you can just give push to the soul, give +3, give that extra ability. Just make that extra push for numbers.
Right.
And also, these cards become key when you have this out, because that's an extra attack. And if you put your columns right, if you put the numbers right during the plays, like those extra attacks to swing for 20 up, just like force out all the grade 0s at your opponent's hand. Just at 3 to 5 damage. It's like, geez, how am I gonna guard all this? Because they know they have to perfect guard this.
Yeah, because
you
got to perfect guard that or take the hit, because everything's Glory Maelstrom and you're going to be dumping more cards out. This deck is the only deck. He is the only person to beat my Thavas deck in tournament play. He is my one loss. I couldn't block Mana Garmer. It was a bit too nasty, and then they retired, and then he drew like 40 cards.
Yeah.
But that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be bringing you a few of mine next. Just wanted to get this one out because I love playing this deck and I hate it. I love playing it because it's very competitive. We have a good player playing it. This deck is to me, a top tier deck right now and for a long time. And I hate playing it because they draw too much and they pump up their rear guards too much. But overall, it's a great deck overall, and I will see you guys in the next video. This is Cardfight King and Black Steve, Aqua Life, Jungle Book Life, and we out.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion speaks tonight.
You're ugly.